I believe in feminism. I believe in women's rights, trans lives. Social media is making us more fragile, fake, and toxic than ever before. The impact it's having on our identities is frightening, and we really need to talk about it. Let's talk. On any given day, we're exposed to hundreds and thousands of profiles. We observe their lifestyles, activities, fashion choices, senses of humor, and even their opinions, beliefs, and moral stances. And amidst this online sea of 4.5 billion people, we all long for acceptance and are vulnerable to their validation in one form or another. And this is having a lasting impact on our identities and who we are. How? Well, it all comes down to the way social media works. You see, to build a successful profile or identity on social media, you need to gain likes, shares, and engagement. This is generally achieved by appeasing to what your online audience of friends and followers finds popular, and also conforming to what the algorithm wants. For example, if X is popular, you must promote X. Women's rights are important. They actually are. They are. It's just an example. In doing so, your audience will reward you with likes and shares and comments, while the algorithm will further your engagement and push you onto the news feeds and timelines of others, all of which releases dopamine in your brain and biologically motivates you to continue the process again and again. Women's rights are very important. They are extremely important and dear to me. You get the point. Now, this entire cycle pretty much creates echo chambers online, where people keep posting content that is popular amongst their circle, which pleases their audiences and the algorithm. Now, this of course is nothing wrong when it's delivering you good quality content like On Path Network and others, but the issue arises when it begins to deliver content that's actually harmful. I mean, the algorithm doesn't care if what you're posting is beneficial or increases people's spiritual or moral fulfillment. It doesn't even care where you stand on the side of a conversation. You could be on the right or the left. It doesn't matter. It only cares that what you're posting is attractive enough to keep people glued to their screens. And this is precisely where the problem lies. Having a formula that drives a successful online identity based on popularity is no way indicative of a person's value or worth. I mean, you could be posting content that leads to anxiety and depression amongst young girls, which most popular profiles are currently doing, yet still maintain a successful online identity. You could even be a complete fraud and parade empty moral slogans all across your page and still achieve a successful online identity, attracting large audiences and being favored by the algorithm. All this, and I still haven't even touched the most dangerous of threats of all. You see, striking research shows that the algorithm has proven to favor content that is more polarizing and negative in nature, simply because such content is more popular and engaging.
Misinformation, angry content is enticing to people and keeps them on the platform.
So for us, it's no longer enough to say women's rights are important, but rather men are trash. Men are really bad. I hate men so much. Please like my post. And we're actually rewarded for such behavior with likes, shares, further engagement, and of course, more dopamine encouraging us to continue the process. It's no wonder we're seeing a rise in anger, hatred, and division online, even amongst Muslims themselves. Online, we're becoming more toxic than ever before. And this is not because it's in our best interest to be angry people, but rather it's what keeps people engaged and helps platforms make more money. And this is nothing new. I mean, anger was one of the most foremost emotions tapped into by Hitler to further his popularity via the radio. And it's still happening today, only this time with the help of algorithms. The dangers surrounding social media and its impact on our identities is very real. And as Muslims, it's something we really need to be concerned about. As Muslims, we are not people who are swayed by or those who randomly follow that which is popular, trends or bandwagons, but instead we follow the Prophet. What the Prophet gives you, take, and what he refrains you from, refrain. The obsession with gaining the pleasure of an online audience and an invisible algorithm goes entirely against our pursuit of achieving the pleasure of Allah in all that we do. It's a fragile way to form our identities, and it's something we should be deeply wary of. So many times in the Quran, we see a strong condemnation of just following that which is popular. قُلْ لَا يَسْتَوِي الْخَبِيثُ وَالطَّيِّبُ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَكَ كَثْرَةُ الْخَبِيثِ. Good and evil are not equal, even though you may be dazzled by the abundance of evil. And of course, وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. If you were to obey most of those on earth, the popular masses, they would lead you away from Allah's way. And this couldn't be more pertinent and important than it is today. I mean, today, in the age of feeling,
and I would say that our age is the age of feeling,
where people's unrestrained desires and feelings define the popular way in which society determines right from wrong, we should be very concerned. We are literally warned about following our desires in the Quran so many times, but desires are exactly what most people are using today to define their morality. This is not to mention the fact that what is popular and acceptable amongst the masses today can very well change tomorrow. That which will bring you audiences and the pleasure of people today can very well have you cancelled tomorrow. This is why it's crucial for us as Muslims to develop our identities without the hidden manipulative pressures of social media and algorithms. We need to establish our roots in who we are before diving into the wild world of social media. We need to study our religion, Islam, find out who we are as Muslims, what are our principles, what are our values, away from the pressures of algorithms. We are bombarded with so many worldviews, philosophies, opinions, and doubts online that are popular and accepted to the masses. We need to know how to deal with them as Muslims. And once again, I don't deny that social media can also have a positive impact on our identities when it's used correctly and when we are exposed to and interact with the right people with the right thoughts and ideas. But the dangers are still very genuine, and it's something we need to be wary of. I ask Allah to make us of those who follow the Prophet ﷺ and not popularity. Those who seek the pleasure of Allah and not the pleasure of audiences and algorithms. Ameen.
If you enjoyed this video along with all the other content that OnePath Network produces, please support us so we can create more beneficial content for the world. Go to onepathnetwork.com and you can support us from as little as $1 a day. Jazakumullah khair for your support.